can't sail to new horizons unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. As an ocean captain, I've come to learn the meaning of this all too well. Every single time you have to set off, making the choice to leave the dock is always the most difficult, and it gets harder every time. As an athlete, I've been able to test the preconceived boundaries on what it is to actually cross an ocean. In 2012, a couple of friends and I set off and tried to kite surf and stand-up paddleboard across 4,000 kilometers of blue water. Through those experiences, I've learned that it actually takes more than simple courage to just lose sight of the shore. You're going to have a lot of perseverance, some serious thick skin. You're going to have to adapt in all situations, but most of all, you're going to have to know that this is your journey and yours alone. So getting to that knowledge that it's only yours is freedom. Coming to the realization that everyone's pretty busy with their own lives, there's thousands of good projects going on in the world, gives you the choice to just screw it up a little bit. Make your own rules, break the ones other ones put on top of you, and just realize no one's paying as close attention as you are to this. So on a physical sense, horizons are these shorelines. But it's pretty hard to go beyond these days considering it's pretty well charted. So what about the metaphysical? That's where today's horizons lie. It's thinking in the abstract. We live in a world full of problems, but there's only about a small solution of us that can see these solutions. So our job that can see these solutions is creating these small little steps that everyone can take to be part of that solution, which is going to enable it to take root. So shortly after our fundraiser going across half the Pacific Ocean that raised no money whatsoever, we decided to actually create an apparel line made from recycled goods to create the financial revenue stream so we could actually move forward with the work that we wanted to. And as the photo says, why would you wear all this garbage when you can wear that? Now, when we set off on this voyage to create this closed-loop stream, we also decided to attach a plastic-to-oil processor because the original idea was to just have a platform educational model to create jobs, close landfills, and anchor renewable energy systems. We decided to add this machine to show everyone with all the other types of plastics we can also make a circular economy on cleaning up the ocean and providing alternative fuels and the clothing that we actually make. We set off from Brisbane, cruising down the coast, 15 different urban areas, doing plastic cleanups, visiting everyone on TV. We set off to Lord Howe Island, Norfolk Island, Vanuatu, and then when we got to Fiji, decided to stay. All on the route of trying to separate these plastics from entering the ocean, creating the actual supply chain that our clothes are sold, and making alternative fuels. So now every single day we have to work on that. There's no supply chain whatsoever for these clothes, because primarily in first world nations, you have all this at your doorstep. But that's the reason why we had to create all of this is out in these island nations and what's creating the plastic problems in our sea is there's nothing in place. So we have to work every single day to create that. Getting involved with the community and making all these different products that will see that end goal come to fruition. So now we make Ocean Ambassador certified clothing. And with that clothing, we're now using 85% less energy, 65% less sulfur dioxide, and 90% less water. We can also engage with businesses and make them internationally ISO certified on sustainability and provide the solutions so they can take the steps to come up along the way. Honestly, I have nothing to do with that side of the business, but we've also got the partners that can. So we also build up educational resources to go into every single school nationwide to explain why we need to stop plastic from going into the ocean. Engaging businesses. Being a small company and all we're trying to do is just achieve a goal, we don't have the financial resources in our bank account to pay for all these things. So we actually delegate the tasks out to hotels. This is actually a cruise ship picking up all the plastic from an outer island in 2014, November. The first time this island has ever seen plastic leave its shores. Since the start of all this waste, all these products have been going there. No one's ever decided to take it off until we got involved. And now working with manufacturers as well. We're starting to slowly close those little gaps to make sure that if plastic doesn't get recycled, we can actually make it biodegradable now through using ingenuity that other people have created, but just by actually going into the manufacturing process. And making all these people that are involved ocean ambassadors certified. So when you see that, you know that they're actually part of the solution. So at the end of the day, every idea is worth having, but if you're not willing to take all the simple little steps to make that end goal come to fruition, it's never going to happen. So the choice is yours, but the payoff is unbelievable. If you're willing to take those steps, you have to realize if you want to see that goal, it's not always going to be in a dollar figure that makes it all the worthwhile. So decide for yourself. Do you want a lot of shiny objects? Or do you want to spend the rest of your life surfing in a clean ocean, surfing perfect waves every single day? I made the conscious choice to leave high-paying work, which just basically meant surfing every single day. But that meant that I also supported an industry that destroyed all the locations that I wanted to go and live in. So take the choice, and remember, 20 years from now, you're going to regret the things that you didn't do more than the ones that you did. So throw the bow lines off, put the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover.